Hello, this is I Do Damage and welcome back to the channel. In this Astellia video, I want to share 10 tips and tricks that I wish I would have known before I started playing. These tips are going to be pretty basic, but if you've been watching the stream and playing the game lately, you're going to know most of them. However, there might still be some things in here you don't know yet. You just never know, do ya? I just figured with all the new players I see coming into Astellia, this would be a great video to help you guys out. I hope you enjoy. Before we start, I want to address the two most commonly asked questions that I get when I'm streaming, and that is the game good? Yeah, it's good. It's been out for almost a month now, and I've gotten my $30 worth for sure from this game. It's a good time. If you're even on the fence and it looks remotely interesting, just get it. It's a good game. Another question I see all the time is the game dead? I don't think the game is dead. Usually when I log in, I see tons of people in the main city hubs and out doing stuff. It's crazy. There's more people than you would think actually playing this game. So on to the tips and tricks, and since this is a beginner tutorial in a way, let's start off with questing and getting to level 50. Tip number 1, find people to play with. Find a guild, play with friends, whatever it is. Your journey from level 1 to level 50, which is max, you can do it entirely solo, which would take you about 25 to 30 hours, which is fine. I've leveled 2 characters to 50. Solo is perfectly fine. But once you hit level 50, you're really going to want that guild. You're going to want friends to play with. It's an MMORPG after all. You need people to play with to do the endgame content efficiently. The game does offer a guild search tool, which is really nice. Or I would consider checking out the Discord and checking the guild recruitment channels there. So on to leveling up. This brings us to tip number 2. Do as many side quests as you can personally manage to do. If you're like me, you get kind of bored of them pretty quick. Just try your best to keep pushing. Just try to keep doing the side quests. If you do for some reason want to take a break from the side quests, make sure you're doing the orange named quests. Make sure you're doing your main story quests. These are highly important. You're going to unlock different Estelles and different items throughout by doing these. So if you do get behind and these orange quests outlevel you and you can no longer continue and you need to go back and earn some XP, this brings us to tip number 3. If you are behind on XP and need to catch up to your story quest, go seek AMIE. Her name is AMIE, and she offers repeatable quests. She has a green icon above her head and super easy to spot. Help her out, get some XP while you're doing it. Tip number 4, understand loot. Loot comes in 5 different qualities. You have white, green, blue, purple, and orange, which is legendary. Pretty common. But what gets interesting here is the purple and legendary items, once you pick them up, they're instantly bound. They're bind on pickup. But you can get items to unbind these. They're called beeswax. And when you unbind these items, you can then put them up for sale. Beeswax you can get as dungeon drops, you can earn them through achievements, or you can buy them on the auction house. On the NA server, the heroic beeswax goes for on average 20k Asper, and the legendary beeswax goes for about 420k per beeswax. And while we're talking about a little bit of money and the prices here, I think that'll bring us on to the next tip number 5, which is save your money while leveling up. Do not enhance your items while you're leveling. Save it all for level 50, guys. Save it all for level 50. And even when you're level 50, don't plus up your staff or your weapon and chest armor. You will get legendary weapon and chests through the quests. And you'll get those after killing around 900 mobs. So it is a grind, but just don't do what I did. Save your money. I plussed this wand up and dropped 1 million gold on it. Shouldn't have done it. Don't do it, guys. Save it. And while we're talking about money, don't be scared to buy mana and health potions while leveling up. They're going to help you out. They're going to help you level faster. They're not super expensive. It's fine. Don't feel bad about that. Just don't enhance your items. And while we're talking about money, I figured I'd share some auction house tips with you. These are going to be pretty straightforward, but I figured it was worth mentioning. When you find a purple item, you want to look at the stats on it. This one has a double roll of knowledge. So that item is of high value. You want to find items that have the same stats, 2 or 3 of the exact same stats on them. This one's a triple wisdom roll. Those are really valuable. The other valuable items I've noticed is anything with con and a stat. Con's going to give you more health for if you decide to do PvP down the road. Those types of items you want to keep an eye on. And you can just check the auction house for what the price is for that certain item and compare it. And just consider the amount of beeswax that you'll have to buy. So if you have a purple item that sells for 40k or higher, you've already doubled your money. So just be aware of that. On to tip number 7, and this is where we're getting into more of the systems of the game and things that are not super apparent when you first start. Tip number 7 is understand runes and how they work. So runes, think of them as enchanting slots. Runes you find randomly throughout the world, and you're going to get a plethora of them. And if you have a ton of runes that you're not going to use, for instance, I'm a mage, so if I have, like, this one has physical status on it, if they have anything that I'm not going to use, energy, you can just put them into this combiner, and if you put 5 in there, you can then fuse them together and get a chance to get a higher grade rune. Most of the time it's going to stay the same grade. But anyway, so my staff here, let's look at the runes. These runes can be reused, which is really cool. So this purple one here, I'm going to put it onto my legendary weapon when I get that one later today. You just right click it, it goes into your bag, and you can put it back on. Super simple. These can be reused. Don't be scared to use them. And also, when you get an upgrade, supposedly you can dismantle these items and all those runes will go back into your bag. However, for me, I unequip them first just to be safe. Again, totally up to you. That's going to be it for runes. On to star jewels. This is going to be tip number 8, star jewels. These are pretty crazy and can be pretty complex. So these are for your Astels, and these are what make your Astels quite a bit stronger. You have 5 slots. You have alpha, beta, delta, gamma, epsilon stars. Okay, so you have 5. So once you put one of each, and you have, so all these are full, you can then click enhance and plus it up. Each Astel can go up to +5, but don't worry, you can reset it and start back at 0. And why this is a good thing is while you're leveling up, you're going to get so many star jewels. Don't be scared to just put them onto your Astels and use them. You can always reset it and equip higher tier jewels. Also, the way that jewels work, and this is kind of a little side note here, star jewels come in different qualities just like the gear does in the 5 qualities we talked about. And common, which would be white, is only for 1 star. Green is 2 star. Blue is 3 star. Purple, etc. These are the grades. Each Astel can also go up to 10 stars, just another little interesting fact. But that's going to be it for star jewels. Don't be scared to use them. And also, they can be fused just like the runes were that I told you about. Same thing. Okay, on to tip number 9. And this one is going to be about dungeon queues. I learned a couple things about this that are a little interesting. You can actually use the matchmaker and pick your dungeons if you want and then join. And usually these queues take a super long time. So let's say you got a guildie and you've got 3 people and you're like, let's go to a dungeon. You know, we don't really want to sit the dungeon queue. You can actually go in here to a party dungeon and you'll be able to click enter. And actually just go in with less than 4 people and bypass the matchmaking. Super cool, super basic. Hopefully that'll help you out. Another cool little trick I learned was about the Colosseum. And solo mode, you can actually go in there with a party. You just have everyone in the group click enter and you go in there. And also with the Colosseum, you can have 3 Astels out, unlimited. So what I do is I have a tank, healer, DPS. I just have them go in there, solo the whole thing for me, and I get an S rank. And I think it takes 15-20 minutes, super easy. And last but not least, tip number 10, probably the biggest one on the list. Actually, it's probably the smallest, but it's still a pretty cool little thing that I found out way too late into my journey. And this will help you out with the inventory management on the game. This is the auto sort feature. Literally, you can sort your entire stash by level, grade, or type. And if you click it once, it puts it in descending order. If you click it again, it'll put it in ascending, so it flips it. Again, really basic, but it's there. Really cool thing. And also, when it comes to inventory management, I wanted to tell you about this account storage. When you first come to this page, there's going to be a lock on it. And all you got to do is drag an item in there, and it'll pop up. And I think it's like 100K Asper for 10 slots. Super cheap. Super cool. That way you can trade items between your characters that aren't bound. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for my 10 tips and tricks. I hope this was helpful. If it was and you enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot more to me than you even know. Make sure to check me out on Twitch and catch some awesome footage of Astellia. Let me know what's going on if you're playing it, enjoying it. We'll have a nice conversation, and as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.